For Rocky IV, Sylvester Stallone brought what was arguably his most impressive physique ever. But the road to creating the physique that led to one of the most successful sports films of all time wasn't an easy one. Along the way, Sylvester suffered a major heart injury during a fight scene gone wrong. He had to follow a grueling workout and diet plan that Stallone said had him running his body into the ground, and he even had to fire his long-term trainer over yogurt. I'm Paris Demers, a full-time personal trainer and online coach, and in this video, I'll tell you everything you need to know about Sylvester Stallone's insane training for Rocky IV, and at the end of the video, I'll supply you with a program based off of his style of training for the movie so you can get jacked just like Rocky. So after trying to get as lean and shredded as possible for Rocky III, Sylvester wanted to go with a slightly bigger, healthier look for Rocky IV. For Rocky III, he weighed in at about 165 pounds, and for Rocky IV, he got that up to 173 while still maintaining a very low body fat percentage. Here's what he had to say about it. I like this weight because it's a fuller, rounder look, more in keeping with the old Roman athlete. I'm not quite as sinewy as I was in Rocky III, but I feel stronger. It makes sense that he would note feeling stronger than before, as he was pretty much starving himself during the filming of Rocky III to get his body fat percentage down. He would get so lightheaded because of his extreme diet that while shooting fight scenes for Rocky III, he would have to go into the corner of the ring and do handstands to try and force blood back into his head. I'm happy Sylvester ended up going with a bulkier physique for Rocky IV, not only because personally I think it looks a lot better, but also because it's a much more realistic body type for a pro boxer to have. At one point while filming the final fight against Ivan Drago, played by Dolph Lundgren, Sylvester told Dolph to just forget about the fight choreography, and in his words, just go out there and try to clock me. So what did Dolph Lundgren do, who at the time had a 75-pound weight advantage over Stallone? Well, he clocked him. Dolph went for it, landing a couple solid blows on Sylvester, which he didn't feel the effects of right away, but that evening after shooting the fight, Sylvester's heart began to swell. He was quickly rushed to the hospital where he spent 4 days being monitored while he recovered. Here's what Sylvester had to say about the incident. My blood pressure went up to 260, and they thought I was going to be talking to angels. But luckily for everyone, especially Dolph, Sylvester's conversation with the angels would have to wait till another day, and he was able to finish filming the movie. And fun fact, the punch that landed Sylvester in the hospital actually ended up in the final cut of the movie, so I guess the mission was successful. As far as his diet goes, we have very little specific information on what Stallone was eating while training for Rocky IV, aside from this quote about him eating burnt toast. I was so unhealthy back in those days. Believe it or not, there was even a phase where all I would eat was burnt toast. Burnt toast. I looked great for a while, and it's probably my best physique in Rocky IV, but what you don't see on camera is I was quite literally running my body into the ground, and you can't live like that. I'm not sure why he was specifically eating burnt toast. Maybe this is a golden age bodybuilding secret that has been lost to time, who knows? But of course you can't build and maintain a body like that just on burnt toast alone, so it was safe to assume he was on a high protein diet with carbs thrown in where they were needed, just like the diet he would use 3 years later for Rambo 3. In an interview with Sylvester's trainer, George Physique said that for Rambo 3, Sylvester would eat chicken and green vegetables 3 times a day, and while filming, in between takes, he would scarf down oatmeal cookies and coffee with honey in it to help make sure he could maintain his energy and a proper pump for his shirtless scenes. So prior to Rocky IV, Sylvester was training with 2-time Mr. Olympian title holder Franco Columbu, but the diet Franco had Sylvester on was packed full of yogurt, which really didn't agree with Sylvester. He said the more yogurt he ate, the slower and bulkier he got, and funny enough, Sylvester said in his book Sly Moves that the yogurt slowly brought down the curtain on his and Franco's working relationship. So with Franco out of the picture, Sylvester started training with George Physique, a high-level bodybuilder from Slovakia. George Physique was responsible for training not only Sylvester, but also his Rocky IV co-star, and also attempted murderer, Dolph Lundgren. And here's what their training looked like. They would train 6 days a week, doing a 3-day push-pull leg split, meaning they would end up doing each day twice, with 1 day off to rest each week. And on top of this, they would train abs twice every day. Dolph even said in an interview, sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night and do a couple sets of abs, just so I would look that much better in the gym the next day. That's how motivated I was by Sly. Clearly Sylvester and Dolph were feeding off of each other's energy to help them take their training to new heights. Now all this work in the gym was on top of the 2 hours of boxing training that they would do each training day. Just like for Rocky III, this is a crazy amount of training volume. Sylvester is a workhorse. As the filming of Rocky IV got closer and closer, they decreased the amount of bodybuilding work they were doing to only a few heavy sets for each body part, and took that extra time to go full out on the boxing training to make sure that they were ready for those big fights. I actually really like this training program. It's obviously insanely high volume, just like a lot of celebrity training routines, but strip away the 2 hours of boxing each day and the 2 extra ab workouts, and you've got yourself a super solid push-pull legs bodybuilding routine. So here's the program I've designed based off of Sylvester's and Dolph's training for Rocky 4. It's a 6-day-a-week push-pull legs program that goes heavy on the arms, shoulders, and chest. This program can also be done as a 3-day-a-week program if you're newer to the gym. Simply do one of each day instead of 2 each week. So that's Sylvester's training for Rocky 4. If you like the video, you gotta go check out my video on his even more insane training for Rocky 3. See you there.